Hello and welcome to Card Creative Coaching. Today I'm going to do two videos which seem to contradict each other, but I think you'll get my point in the end. The first one is about persistence and not giving up. And the second one is about when to give up. So first, let's talk about persistence. So my definition of success is failing until you don't. So according to my definition, that means in order to succeed, you probably will fail a few times. It is the very lucky people who hit success the first time out of the gate. Trouble is, people see failure as the opposite of success, when it's simply one of these steps on the way to success. And sometimes you have to fail a lot before you find success. It's said that Edison failed 1,000 times before he made the light bulb, that he found 999 things that didn't work, or 999 steps to success. I don't know if Edison ever actually said that, because there's a lot of different variations around that, but the point is valid. If you want to succeed at anything, you need to be able to get through the pain of failure. And I happen to know a lot about the pain of failure. For every book I've published, there are probably 100 stories that will never see the light of day. And that may be a bit of hyperbole, but not by too much. There's a lot of stories I've started that I've never done anything with. So let me tell you about a couple specific failures of mine. So I got most of the way through a trilogy, about halfway through the third book, and I stopped because I didn't really know where it was going, how I could tie everything together, how I was going to end this. So I rewrote it again and again. And I didn't want to give up on this story. I really liked the core elements of this story. It took me probably tens of thousands of words, maybe a couple 100,000 words, to realize, though, it just wasn't going to work as a trilogy. So I went back to the core of the story that I really wanted to tell, and I started pretty much from scratch. And I wrote, in the end, just a single book. And that finally worked. I ended up throwing away a lot of words, but I got a finished product, and that book is now published. And if you're curious, I've got a link to it down below. It's The King's Outlaw. But perhaps my biggest failure wasn't actually a book at all. I had a previous coaching business, which I may have mentioned a couple of times. Long before I was a creative coach, I was a happiness coach. That's why I happen to know so much about happiness and depression and those sorts of things. I thought that happiness was something everyone wanted, and knowing the ways to make yourself happier would revolutionize the world. Turns out, the old saying, "you can't buy happiness," meant that people didn't want to pay for happiness coaching, even though it may have actually been the one thing that did bring greater joy to their lives. And when I finally closed that business, I was really depressed for a long time. I didn't think I'd coach again. I thought I was sort of done with that side of things. But here I am. So trust me when I say I know a thing or two about failure, and conversely a thing or two about moving yourself constantly towards success. My wife is also a writer, and she had worked for 7 years, written more than 20 books before she hit her overnight success. Which means the one single thing you need to succeed in this world is persistence. You need to be able to deal with the pain of failure by seeing it as just another step on the way to success. And yes, the truth is, you don't know how many steps there's going to be. There may be 5 or 50 or 500, or as the legendary Edison case goes, 1,000. But if you keep going and never give up, you'll eventually get there. I wish it were easier. I wish it were quicker, but the truth is, sometimes it isn't. And anyone who says otherwise is probably trying to sell you something. So here's hoping. that you happen to be just one failure away from success. And if so, then just keep going. And in the meantime, I hope you can dream big, laugh lots, and create.